Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video on X4 where today we're going to be talking about station building. Now this may be a little bit easier for some people and some people find it a little bit difficult. There's been a bit of a mixed bag with this one. So I thought I'd cover it all from the start to the finish and hopefully help out anybody with any questions that they might have. If I don't answer any of the questions that you do have, then please leave them in the comment section below or join us on our Discord where we can help you out a little bit more. Without further ado though, let's get straight into it and talk about station building. So, what is station building? Well, it's all of these things that are on the map that you can see. All of these here. So the first thing you want to be thinking about is what you want to actually build in an area, what area you want to build it, and whether or not it's accessible to you and other people. If you're building your first station, one of the first ones that I tend to suggest is building a energy cells production, because every single economic production requires energy cells. They sell and they cost nothing to produce. They also don't require miners or traders or anything like that to rely on. All you need to do is produce them and the AI will buy them from you. So today's example, we're going to be using the energy cells so you can see how to set up something very basic and how we go about doing it. But I also want to talk about how you actually go about getting all of the rest of the components for the rest of the stations, because you don't want to just build energy cells. Energy cells generally is one of the first things you get as an unlock, so you can actually start doing it straight away. It's one of the ways of earning money, so it's also another reason why I tend to go for that as the first one. However, how do we go about actually starting up a station and start building it? So for this example, I'm going to use another territory because I want to go over a couple of things. However, you can do this in a sector that has no territory. That's these ones here. You see these grey ones here? If you're using the other settings, the other filters, you'll notice that the colour schemes don't change, so don't worry about it. But you'll notice that there's no faction colours in there at all as well. Now these may actually be taken over by other factions, but they tend to be grey for a while, and then the way you claim them, if you are interested in that, is by administration centre, and then it becomes your sector. So they're slightly different, and I'll talk about why in a second, but we're going to be setting up in Argon Prime. So the first thing you want to be thinking about is where you want to set up your station. Now generally closer to the highways is better, but costs more money. What do I mean by that? Well, the way we start building a station is we go to manage plots. Now I generally, as a rule of thumb, make sure you're in the sector that you want to go to, which is Argon Prime. You don't want to choose a size. Now again, if this is your first station, you want to go for the smallest size possible. Next, you want to start building your size of your plots up. You can do, but then it is an increased price. It works off a cube, 4x4x4. So what that means is there's a -X and a +X direction, so that's left and right, whichever way you look at it, up and down, or forward and backwards, or depth, deeper or shallower, depending on how you want to look at it. So there's both sides. So if you think of the point in the center, that's what you're working on. So a 2 on one side and a 2 on the other side is a 4-kilometer distance. You can make it oblong if you wish. You can have a 3x4x4, or you can have a 2x4x4 or 2x2x2 if you so wish. If you're going to do that though, I'd suggest doing it where you level it out like so. Then the center point is the center point and you don't get confused later down the line. However, we're going to keep it as a default for now. That's if you're just really struggling with credits. So from there, you'll notice that it's telling you that you're doing your new one in Argon Prime. It's telling you how much sunlight there is and how much workforce availability bonus there is. That's when you start getting into workforces, which we won't cover in this video. If you're building energy cells, don't worry too much at the beginning about getting an area where you've got maximum value for money, which is your sunlight. Unless you're starting in the Terrans, which you can obviously go to places like Mercury and stuff like that. Don't usually worry about that too much. So now you want to hit the create plot. You'll now get a little bit of a square, and you'll notice that the price is hovering over where your marker is. And you notice if I go around here, it's 77,638. That's not going to change until I start going closer to the highway. And you notice the closer to the highway I get, the more expensive it is. You'll also notice that the closer to the jump gates I get, the more expensive it is. It actually works off the jump gate itself, but the highway does... I tend to find the highway does have some impact, but I could be wrong on that. It just normally sees that way. You'll see, the closer to these jump gates they are, the more expensive the station is. But you can get smack bang in the middle there. Now, as soon as you place your plot, it'll say Argon Prime Factory. You've not declared what the factory is, so it just stands as a standard factory. Real estate transfer tax. You are hiring from the space within Argon Prime, so there is a fee to acquire the plot license, which is 77,638. That's what that is. Now you've got a choice here. If you want to be a pirate and you want them to attack you and they become your enemy after a while, don't pay it. But we don't want them to attack us, so we're going to pay it. We can now click continue to initiate construction. So that plot is now there. If you go off it by mistake, don't worry about it, because all you need to do is either go to your manage plots and it's there, Argon Prime Factory, or you can right click. So if we go off here completely, we can right click and we can do plan build from here. Either which way you do it, it's going to give you the same outcome as whether you could press the continue key, which is then giving you this 4x4x4 block cube. Almost on a block. It's not a block, it's a cube. You'll notice that the construction plan status tells you there is neither a port nor a dock module in this section. It's bright red, so it's going to direct your eyes straight to it before you've even begun. Don't worry about it. That's basically telling you that nothing can dock to this station to actually do any business. Now, from here, you'll notice that I don't currently have any modules that I can do, apart from the ones that I've shown you in previous guides, which is storage, dock modules, and the cross and verticals. Don't worry, you won't have this problem when you come to build. You will have more options, energy cells being one of them usually. But since I didn't require it for this, I didn't put it on for this, but that leads me to the next part of the video in a second. From here, there is nothing that we need to do. This is our secured space. It is ours now. We are ready to build whatever we want. Moving around is WASD, or you can click with your left mouse and drag it around. Right click allows you to pan the camera around. The old style was a little bit more finicky when it came to actually moving components around. That has changed, thankfully. If you want to go up and down, it's the left mouse to go up and down, and obviously you can zoom in and out as usual. You can also set it where you can actually see the rear of your... So you can actually see the space and everything around you on here. All you do is you go to your settings here, and it says show environment, and now you can see the entire environment. This may lag you out if you've got a system that doesn't allow it, but what it does allow is for you to work out where they're going to come from, so you can plan your build. So we've got the 2 jump gates there, so I might want to put my dock at this side, but then we've got the 3rd jump gate there. Where do I want to put my dock? Something to consider. So that's it's quite useful. You can remove that as well. You can allow module overlap, which allows you to put your modules inside each other. We don't like that. And you've got the final option, which is shuffle the modules in the current construction plan. So to explain how that works, if I just place a couple of modules inside here, and say I'm struggling to, put them in. If you go to here, you go shuffle modules, you'll notice that it puts the 2 in the center and removes the red one. But I can now connect the red one. But then say I want to go, right, I'll put that in there, I'll put that in there. Put this here, and I'm like, I kind of want to look different. Actually, that's all pretty set, so it's not going to do anything. It's all connected. But then if I start to zoom in slightly and go, well, actually, no, I want to put you here, and we don't want to rotate you just now. Put you here, and we'll put you... Oh, you're connected to all of it. That might remove the top section, but then we go to shuffle modules. You'll notice that it can't do anything because of this top section here. So let's just place it. There we go. Shuffle modules. It's saying it's absolutely... Oh, no, it's still saying it's not in. Let's... no. There we go. Nope. Right, we'll remove this for now because this one's an awkward one. Let's try again. Shuffle modules. There you go. And now it will connect them all. As you saw, it won't do anything because that top piece that I had on had connection points for large ships. Because they were out of the bracket, it won't do anything because it's saying, well, there's nothing much I can do here. And it has a little bit of a hissy fit. What you'll also notice now, because I've got a dock, and it's just a standard dock, my red little warning sign has gone. Now, handy if you don't want to build stations and you just want to get them where they're functional. But what we had before was functional. This here, if we move this over here, move this over here, and we'll disconnect you. There you are. This one might be a little bit fiddly. There we go. And then we'll disconnect you here as well. There we go. Right. That is absolutely fine. That works as a station. They do not need to be connected. They have connection points, and they do look a bit silly when they aren't connected. However, the way that the resources and everything are moved around is by traffic. So if you go in close to a station, you'll see traffic moving between each of the sections, and that's how all the resources move around them. How you get from one piece to another, like say for example if you're on the docking area and you want to go to the other docking area, magic. That's all we're going to say about that. But yeah, that works absolutely fine. Now, if you do not click confirm module changes and you just go to close menu, it will ask you if you wish to discard your current changes. You click no, then you can confirm them. They're all set. However, we don't want to do this because this isn't anything useful. Actually, technically it is something useful for me because it allows me to do a training station. So we'll just shuffle the modules for now. We'll confirm the modules. You'll now notice we got a yellow warning saying there is no pier module on this station because we've removed the other piece that we had before, which basically is set for large ships to come and dock. It's now giving us a yellow warning. We can get ships on here, small and medium, but we can't get any large or extra large ships. No issues for us at the moment because, one, we're probably going to be building small and medium ships for now, and two, the AI have plenty of small and medium ships. From here, that is that now set and secured, so you can leave it and you can close it, no issues whatsoever. You can come back to it, close that there, plan build, and it's just as you've left it. Now, if you want to do a little bit more fiddly stuff, again, same as it, whether they're connected or not, you can rotate things around by using these little icons here. Each one is the axis of which you wish to rotate. So if you see here, you got three little arrows here. This upper arrow actually means up and down. Same for this one here. We'll call this left and right, and this one forward and backwards. It's the axis on which... We'll just cancel the module so that it's reset back to normal. It's the axis on which you're moving things. Same for this. Circular one here, and circular one here. That's which way you want to rotate. You can rotate them to some funky angles. Whilst it's red, it will not allow you to confirm. But once you've got it green, it will then allow you to confirm it. As we have a small box, you'll notice that there isn't much wiggle room. You see that's on the edge already. Any part of that comes out of the box and then it goes red and you can't confirm it. We can confirm that now and this nice little funky slight twist on it. Absolutely fine. You can do that for individual modules. So you notice before we were moving the whole module, because this is classing this as a central section, the other thing you can do is you can actually rotate it. So it starts, as you notice, it starts to try and click itself to multiple sections. It tries to be a little bit smart. You see it's connected to that there. If I then try to move this one, you'll notice it does something real funky. But it moves the two sections. It will try to move whatever it's connected to from the access point here. So if I move this here, you'll notice if I hover over, you'll see that these two sections here are white. If I do that, they're all white. Whatever is white, when I do that, it affects whatever's white. So if I move this and I rotate it around, it's going to rotate both of them. Whereas before, when I was doing this, it was just doing that. Same for them there as well. So that's your clue on what's going to be moving around. Confirm all module changes. I'm now happy with how my station looks. It looks weird as shit. Now what do we do? Now we need resources. So we have two options here. We have the resources that we need. You'll notice that because this is a boron station, I require water in my construction. I require claytronics, energy cells, and hull parts, which are your three core That does not include Terran and other little bits and bobs like the Taladi stuff. This is just purely standard. The Terran ones are a little bit different because they have their own production, and we won't cover that today, but it's the same concept. It will list everything you require on there. We then need to manage our buy offers. So if you want to be a little bit like cheap, you can adjust your global modifiers. I tend to leave them as standard, but you can adjust them so it will reduce the price. So it says, I'm not paying full price, I'm going to pay only 90% of the price. So as the global market drops to 90%, then you'll start buying stuff. You could do individual. You can change the trade rules. If you're producing hull parts and you want to do a trade rule that says trade for myself only, which was covered in our trade videos, you can do that, and you'll have the drop down here with the trade rule in there, so it allows you to restrict your purchasing to your faction only. That's for all of them, and it does include the Terran ones as well. So you'll see that the computronic substrates are on there, the metallic microlattice is on there, and the silicon carbide's on there. The field coils, shield components, turret components, and the advanced electronics, they all come into play in a moment when I discuss them. Moving on from there, you have your estimated price to buy all your resources. That's the top end price, so 2 million. So if you've got the money, you can do accept estimate, and it will put 2 million into the construction pot. Or if you're a little bit skint and you want to use some for something else, you could just do half of it and confirm it, and then come back later and fill in the rest later. Again, this is going to do nothing other than it's going to start buying the resources. So you notice straight away it's got a purchase there. So it's now going to fill a secondary storage called the build storage with the resources that you require. However, the station is not going to be built because you need to hire a builder. Now, when we click on hire, assign or hire a builder, you'll notice that it flickers and disappears the list. If we zoom out, it will pick up on any builder, that you can physically see within a range. So when I talk about doing satellites in sectors and stuff like that, this is one of the reasons why. So you can find builders. So I want a builder that's in Argon Prime, so we zoom into Argon Prime. There's one there. Right click it. Click select. That builder is now assigned unless it gets blown up. It will not move until that station is built. It will remain with that station. Once it's completed, it will then go off and do its own thing. So now we have our station building. That's it. It's done. It will give you a build state. It says not enough resources to build the first new module. If you want to know what it is that you require for the first build module, maybe you want to try and deliver some, make it a little bit quicker. If you go to here, this is your plan and change modules. Everything green is what you've got set going. If you click down at the plus arrow, it will tell you a breakdown of what you require. So we require Claytronics, energy cells, hull parts, and water. You can see that from here. You'll also notice that on the container storages and on other modules as well, there's these little ticky boxes here. You have preset for all station modules. Custom preset means it will set it up as a custom one, which is basically what you decide to do, which links with these three little pen markers here. If you set to high preset, what is it doing? It will give you nothing at all, because we don't have anything. What do I mean by that? Well, if you click on this here, you'll notice it now offers you choose a medium turret and choose a medium shield. These modules themselves separately have their own turrets and shielding components, which means that they survive a little bit longer when they're being attacked. You'll notice I've got 4 medium slots here, and the highlighted one is the one that I'm selecting, so you see it turns to slightly different green color. Go from this side, you can see it a little bit easier. As at the moment, we don't have any turrets. We don't have any kind of, blueprints for turrets, so we can't build any. But once you do, you click confirm loadout changes. It will then add them turrets to its build plan and add more of these things that you require to build the turrets. Beginning, don't worry about that, but I am going to cover how you get that. So that's our station. It's good to go. It's going to build itself. What if you want to do more? So like I said earlier, I want to do energy cells. So how do I get energy cells? If I zoom out here and I remove my other filter, which basically allows me to see things going on and all this, like all this shows up. If I remove that for now, you'll notice that just under the flagship, let me just remove that mission. So we can actually see a little bit better. Set to inactive, there we go. You'll notice on Argon Prime's Argon Wharf, there's a little symbol here, very similar to the people on here. These are VIPs, very important people, or people of interest, person of interest. This one here is a faction representative. So the one that's got like a little crown above their head. If we visit a faction representative, which we have a ship on the station at the moment, teleport to, we'll head on over to our faction rep. So you want to get out of your ship, whatever ship it is that you're flying. You head to the teleporter. You then see it says Representative's Office, and it tells you what faction. This is for the Argon Federation because we're in Argon space. You can ask pilots to give you the location of the representatives. All you need to do for that is if you right click, comms, what can I find? Way to faction representative. Sending you the info now. If you're friendly, they will give you a nice little icon to follow. And here is our faction representative. Now we have show me your licenses and I would like to buy a blueprint. Blueprints is where we start. So this is for stations, ships, turrets, everything. Any blueprints that you require will come from your representatives. Again, if you want Boron stuff, you'll have to go to Boron Space and speak to the Boron faction representative once you have a high enough faction rep. Now, if we go to production modules, you'll see some of them here are not available. And it tells you why. It requires a Federation Advanced Module License, awarded in the Hero of the Federation. So we need 20 relation with the Argon to be able to unlock this here. So you don't get them all at once. You might have to do a little bit of work. Same for the build storage. You see we can't do these ones here because they require relation 20. You'll also notice that our equipment for weapons are very limited. We could do mining drills and simple pulse lasers and stuff like that. You'll also notice that the turrets as well are the same. So say we want to go for a medium Argon pulse turret. We'll put that on there. I then wanted my energy cells. We'll choose the energy cells. Gives you a breakdown of how much you're spending. Confirm that. You now have a blueprint that unlocks. Now, you'll notice that it says Argon Medium Pulse Turret Mark 1 twice in the bottom left. That's because it unlocks it for your ships and for your stations. So now, if we go to our property owned, we go to our basic trading station, you'll notice, sorry, Argon Prime Factory. You'll notice it's still down as Argon Prime Factory because nothing's been built yet. We're still waiting for building. Once it starts to build stuff, it will start to try and auto-detect what it is that it's got. Now, for this purpose, I'm going to build my energy cells because we now have the energy cells available. We're going to try and build it underneath here. Now, that will provide perfectly fine for us. It's got a colour. You'll notice it's a different colour to the green ones and the yellow ones. The yellow is the docking. The green ones are your storage. These red ones here are your production. Your standard connector modules are also a different colour as well. You see they're white. You'll see the difference of the white when you come to connect. So you can still see which ones you're selecting nicely. So we've now got an energy cell production. We also want to start adding some turrets. Well, we can't because we're boron only. So unfortunately, I won't be able to put Argon stuff on these. However, what I can do is I can put it on the Argon energy cells. So I'm going to put a medium pulse turret on both of these. So you now see that it's got two medium pulse turrets on both sides. I'm going to confirm them module changes. You'll now notice that I confirm them. I now require advanced electronics and I also require turret components because I've now got turrets on there. You'll also notice that the boron cross connection and the energy cell production is below what I've already added. So you can just keep adding to it and it will just put it at the bottom of the list and not affect it. The only time that will change is if I had the energy cell production up here and then I added turrets, it tends to drop it to the bottom sometimes. So that's basically station building. There are a couple of things you can do though. So if we go off here and if I go to manage plots and I go to create new plot, I'll then buy my license. I'll continue. if you have used the station simulator, which I'll point out in a moment, you can do the load plan. All of these here are grey, are because I don't have anything that allows me to produce them when it comes to blueprints. See, it won't allow me to do it. It even tells me what I'm missing. However, if I want to do a trading station, it will allow me. Confirm module changes. What you'll notice is it's actually outside of the build area. Be careful, because sometimes it will try to build it and sometimes it'll go haywire on you. Be careful with that. If I go back to my Argon Prime factory there, you'll see it has automatically adjusted it for me. But it just looks the same. So be very, very careful. But that is how you get a blueprint. When you get a chance, you can adjust it and change the size of it, and then it's all absolutely fine. Because all you need to do then is just go, where's my Argon Prime factory? I go here, change the size of it. So I'm now like, yeah, I want bigger. Let's go. Buy the license, continue. It's still kind of weird because it's now put everything below it. But if we go, I think this is the connector that we want here. Nope, I wanted the other one. But it's fine. Oh, it's all gone. Don't worry, cancel module changes. It's all back again. There we go. Now you notice it's just doing that to me because there we go. You'll also notice I've now got red markers everywhere. So I'm now going to have to start filling around trying to find a way to connect this. Confirm. There we go. It's now removing the dock because we moved it. And now it's rebuilding it again. But there was nothing built. So just, as I say, it's dodge. But it works. And our blueprint is now done. So that's where you get your blueprints from in-game. If we now go to where you actually do them, I will show you right now, just in case you need to know. So, very easily, all you need to do is go to New Game. And there it is, Station Design Simulator. This will load you up into a station with a little table that I'm going to show you in a second. And this is completely simulated, so it will show you a breakdown of everything you require, and it will allow you to save. So here we go. So this is your office where you can plan and design your station layout. So you left click on the tablet, and it gives you a full station design plot. You got your plot size, you got sunlight, all that kind of fancy stuff. You can even do the headquarters, or you can do a new plot. But if you click continue, just as usual, you got a nice big area here, and you can go ahead and place everything in, and it's just exactly the same as it was in the other section. The only difference is you can force construction, so you can actually see what it looks like when it's fully built. So you can now lay it all out nice and neatly and then go, well, I don't want to just see the kind of fancy colored stuff. I want to see what it actually looks like. Then you can go ahead and you can force construction and you can see it all. Same option again, show environment. It gives you a nice little star map. So you can have some little bit of ambience behind you. And again, you can allow the... I don't like to allow like modules going inside each other. It just doesn't look good. But it'll also tell you... Obviously, we don't require any resources to build it or anything like that, but it will show you the logical station overview and stuff like that. Just as usual, it's just exactly the same. From here, you can select your name and save the current construction plan. Energy cell. It's just an energy cell production. Save as new. You can import Terran Trade Platform. So I can import a plan. That is where you've got a community-created construction plan. So you'll see import community-created construction plans from the construction plan folder in your personal X4 folder. So any plans you get from people online or from the Discord or anything like that, you can put them in there and you can import it and it will import it for you. You can also export. You can export the plan. This will overwrite the existing construction plan energy cell in your list and it's exported. It also shows it in the construction plan folder, and you can share it with others. You can reset to your top view, just as usual. So that's everything you need to know about station designing, hopefully. I hope that's helped you out. If you've got any more questions or comments or anything like that, please make sure you let me know in the comment section below. I will try and cover anything that I've missed. But if you need any more in-depth questions, please feel free to join the Discord where we can help you out, and also share any designs that you might have. Some of them designs that I may feature in future videos as well, as a little bit of a Brucey bonus. But until next time, everybody, take care for now, and I shall see you all on the next one. Bye bye for now.